Some of you don't know, and some of you do know. My podcast is about um, encouraging people, because we always get to a point in our lives that we'll just stop because we don't see no results. We just stop. So many people have gotten on this show, talked about how they made it through, get to where they need to get to. This young man is getting coming on the show today. He's been coaching for at the school at Arkansas Baptist University for 11 years. 11 years. And now he's the head coach. Welcome to the show, Coach Marlow Rockwell. What's going on, my man?
Hey, what's up, Adrian, man? Thanks for having me.
No
Appreciate
problem. No
you having me.
problem. You rocking the San Francisco
Yeah.
49ers, man. Too bad they go
Yeah,
to the
man.
Super Bowl.
When you say faithful, man, I'm one of those. I'm born and raised San Francisco, California. Spent some time in Sacramento as well. But man, I've been a
Ooh,
49er fan my whole life.
San Francisco rained too much.
Yeah.
I think worse than Houston at some time.
Yeah, man. That Bay Area, different type of weather. Sometimes you gotta wear a jacket in the summertime.
Yeah, yeah. I got caught up that one, man. Play and think I went and bought a big jacket in that night.
Yes,
That
sir.
was the summertime.
Yes, sir.
I've just introduced you, man, and so many people in a life um, struggle and they give up so much, and you've been at this school for 11 years, and now you're the head coach, women's basketball head coach. Was there a uphill, downhill? Like, man, I'm gonna get out of here.
Oh man, it's been a lot. It's been a roller coaster, and I just start with a little bit of the history of how I got there.
Okay.
Of course, I'm from California. I went to junior college in California, and I accepted a scholarship to Angelo State University. Of course, that's where I met my wife and everything. And my mentor, uh, was working at Arkansas Baptist College as a dean of men, and he also ran the OK program, which started in California as well. And it's transitioned to 7 or 8 different states. So he was here in Little Rock, and it's a small world because I got an opportunity to play football at San Jose State.
Okay.
And the head coach at that time was Dr. Fitzgerald Hill, who was became the president of Arkansas Baptist College. So I kind of had a tie in with the school through my mentor and former coach of San Jose State. So
Okay.
they offered me a position in 2010 as student life director and assistant basketball coach, and I took it, and I've been there ever since. One of the reasons why I'm married, because the job is so rewarding. We're HBCU, founded in 1884. The school has a lot of history, but it's also had a lot of ups and downs. And we are open enrollment institution, so we work with students that may have some issues or had a hard time getting out of high school. And I mean, we just got a large range of students. We got students with 23, 24 on the ACTs, and we have some who never took the ACT. But it's a good blend at the school, and I just love serving our students and serving our people, man, and trying to help them become better people, receive degrees, and be productive citizens. So that's kind of why I'm still there. It's a passion of mine.
Good. Good. Question for you, man.
Yeah.
Being there for 11 years and being an assistant, um, what's that transition from being an assistant to a head coach? Because I asked this question because some coaches, especially I know in NBA,
Mhm.
NFL, all levels, when you become that assistant coach, it's kind of difficult to be that head coach because your role has changed
Change. Yeah.
with some players. Because being an assistant, you have a better relationship. Then when you get the coach, that
Yeah.
it's kind of tough, and they like,
Mhm.
man, forget Coach Marlowe, man. I ain't with all that mess. He was cool at first. Now
Yeah.
how that change you from that, being assistant now a head coach at Arkansas Baptist.
Well, you've seen the term or heard the term good cop, bad cop type thing. When you assistant, you get to be the good cop. You get the one to be, the one that's putting out fires or building more relationship with the players, I think. And you're in a more of a supportive role. You support the head coach, you're loyal to the head coach. But when you become the head coach, all decisions fall on your shoulders. If the player does not feel like they're getting the playing time they deserve, it's an issue with you, not the assistant coach. So the biggest difference is, the decision making. Um, you have to have good leadership qualities, as far as the good, the bad, and the ugly. Conflict management, all these different things has now came on my shoulder more so as a head coach than I was as an assistant. In my assistant job, I was in a supportive role. As a head coach, you become the decision maker, end all tell all with things. Not only with the student athletes, but the parents. The administration, the media. It's a lot that come along with it. But I think that my time that I served as an assistant, to get spending that amount of time and being around the game and stuff, it's helped me to understand how to navigate through all the good, the bad, and the ugly. Um, I think one of the biggest things transitioning is getting your players to buy into something new, because they have been, whatever the system may have been before
Yeah,
or the culture,
they
that's
they
one of the things.
they're
And
completed to a system that they
not comfortable
yeah,
with or not
people don't
used
like
to.
changes. People don't
Yeah,
like changes,
they
and
don't. And one of the things was, I had a tough decision to make. Do I start all over or do I bring back some of the ones that was there, in a different system? And I decided to give those student athletes an opportunity, and maybe one or two of them panned out, was able to,
make it
transition into what we was doing and be a good fit for us. So yeah, I think those is one of the difficult things. But to sum it all up, I think as an assistant coach, you're more in a supportive role, support, being loyal to your head coach, making sure that, what he's putting in place is being carried out. And then when you become a head coach, not only do you need a great assistant coach, you need someone who's going to be loyal, who's going to support what you're doing as well. And,
correct.
you have to deal with all the other outside sources as well.
11 years, man. Um, did you ever think that it's, hey, I'm gonna leave?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. Me and my wife, we had some sit downs, some prayers. I actually got offered some head coaching jobs in Texas, in Plano School District, and different things like that. At the time, I thought going back down to high school would be more stable as far as raising family and different things like that, more so than the college game. So, we had some opportunities. I applied for some jobs at some different places, Long Beach State, a few other places, and like I said, just the opportunity to do some of the things that we were doing at Arkansas Baptist College for me to develop, you know, deciding to stay actually led me to the role of dean of students. So one thing I can say is that my resume is looking pretty good, from Arkansas Baptist College. 11 years. When I do step out, man, I done everything you can imagine on a college
Right,
campus.
right,
So,
right, right, right.
it's gonna pay its dividends sooner or later.
And
Yes,
and
sir.
so far so good. So far so good,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Let me back up. Let me give you a little history of Marlow. Marlow is married to my cousin, and just to hear him say he had a job in Plano, had an offer in Plano. Man, he didn't want to be around our family, man. We crazy as heck, man. We didn't want to get no close. He didn't want to get no close. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. But back to the basketball season. How did you prepare for this season as a head coach, man? And the reason why I'm asking these questions because, like I said at the beginning, we as people look at situations like, for example, you being there for 11 years. Some people see that as a no result. I'm not going
Yeah.
nowhere. I'm not. This is not for me. I gotta find something else to
Mhm.
do. You never gave up.
Well, the results for me, man, it's bigger than basketball. The results is when I get some of my prior student athletes or former students on campus that's sending me photos of their weddings or invites to the weddings, baby showers. Hey, coach, I just completed my master's degree, and I got a job with Boeing, or I got, we got some students that's really doing some great things. So, that's the reward for me, is what we set out to do. Um, as far as coming into coaching this year, like I said, the number one thing was changing the culture and recruiting. While I was serving as dean, one of the things that I wanted to do was move, because Arkansas Baptist, although we was a 4-year institution, we participated our sports in the NJCAA,
Okay.
which was kind of, it really didn't make sense because we're a 4-year institution with a 2-year sports program. So when it comes to the academics and the retention rates and graduation rates of the school, it really hurt us because most students that were coming to our institution was solely coming to transfer.
Okay.
There was about 5 other junior colleges that came online in the state, I would say around 2016, 2017. And that started hurting our enrollment. It started hurting our recruiting. So with us moving to 4-year, now we're able to get transfer students in, recruit from the other smaller junior colleges or startup junior colleges programs that just started in the state. So us
Right.
moving 4-year was a huge transition. As far as you know, uh, joining the conference. Just with us being so young, we're pretty much freshmen. We didn't get into the NAIA until the end of May, which
Wow.
only gave us about 2 months to recruit before we started school.
Okay.
And so this first year has been more of a rough draft type year, getting our players acclimated. Um, the ones that we did get, we're actually developing them, trying to get them to understand, the different aspects of being a college athlete. So we're working, and I've been recruiting really, really hard to try to find, the right fit for what we're trying to do. So this year has been up and down for us. But the biggest thing that I'm looking for is progress in our young ladies. I tell them all the time in practice, don't be the same person that you were when you came in during August. Let's
Mm.
develop, let's get better, and it's going to take some time. So I think within the next year, I think we'll be a lot more competitive. Schedule wise, we'll be able to, and I talked to you briefly about that too. We'll be able to, get a schedule that kind of meet where we are right now as we're building the program. This year, we had a very, very tough schedule. A lot of we had to take what we can get in so many ways. So
Right.
it was taxing on the young ladies and everything, but I think we're heading in the right direction.
Being at Arkansas Baptist, is prayer and God in the equation?
Yes, sir. So one of the things that our students have to do, we have a empowerment hour. So it's
Okay.
pretty much our chapel every Thursday from 11 to noon, and we bring in different speakers. I mean, we bring in athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, pastors. And that time is designed to help motivate, support, pray for our students, and our students love it on campus. We keep it. I can say this, even with us being a Baptist campus, it's not like a churchy feel to it. It's an uplifting feel.
Yeah,
Um,
y'all still have parties?
oh yeah, man.
Okay, okay.
The funny thing about it is sometimes you have to remind the students that yeah, you on the Baptist, you on the Christian campus, Man, you walk by some of them dorm rooms, man, the music, yeah, it's just like any other college, man. But we do put those things in. There are certain courses that they are um
Right.
that they're required to take, such as intro to the Bible, different things like that. So it just gives us a leeway to put that Christian feel and put God into the equation on our campus.
Are you planning to be there? I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. Are you
All
planning to
right.
be there another 11 years, man?
Oh, no, no. I think sometimes your season it's over. My ultimate goal since a kid has always been to be a coach, and then a transition into being an athletic director. And then my goal is when I retire from that is just to be a department head or teach sports management or something like that. So initially what I'm saying is I don't plan on retiring. I plan on doing what I love to do for the rest of my life. And I think that once again, Arkansas Baptist, I poured a lot into it. I gave my all to the school. But, if an opportunity at this point in time comes available for me and my family, I'm definitely going to have to strongly consider it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You had that Plano closer to home. I go.
Hey man, that was really a tough one, man. That was really a tough one, man.
I'm
They
teasing you.
offered,
Teasing you.
and you know how that came about. One of the young ladies that we recruited here to Arkansas Baptist College was from Plano. Her grandmother had worked in the school district for years, and she loved the way that I worked with her granddaughter. She loved our program. She loved it. She gave me a call and said, "Hey, why don't you come out here to Plano? I'm good friends with the AD," and they pretty much rolled it out and offered me a pretty good package, man. And at that time,
I
we
wish you would
decided
have
to
taken
stay.
it because you could have wore that San Francisco 49ers hat all dang day around there.
Yeah,
They would
yeah,
have been mad with you, but hey,
yeah.
it
And
is what it is.
one of the I think it was St. Thomas in Houston. I applied there. I got a brief interview, but we looked at some areas. But what we do want to do is our next move would definitely be somewhere where we do have family. Because that's important. It's kind of it's tough being out here, and we raising three little ones, man, and they all playing AAU ball and all this now, man. So we're
Balling,
on the go. So having some family
balling.
help and support will help us out.
They balling. They
Yes,
balling.
sir.
Back to Arkansas Baptist University, man, and being a coach there for 11 years, assistant. Looking at your schedule, looking at the schools that you play, like you said, it's tough for you as a new coach coming in and making all these adjustments to play these other regular schools that's already been. What game plan do you have?
Our game plans they vary depending on who we're playing. So like right now, I can be honest. There's a lot of things that we're trying to do that we can't because of our personnel. So, like I said, we're continuing to recruit to try to find those people. So, our style, my style of play is more so, we like to pressure you on defense, 94 feet, and we like to push the tempo of the game. We run emotional offense with some quick hitting sets that we run, and it's really to isolate our good ball players and put them in situations to be successful, to score. And right now, like I said, with us being so young, so many freshmen, I'm trying to break them from the mode of I have to pass the ball here, go set a screen here, stand over here, wait for this person to come screen me. And, it's just my thing is, you got to play basketball. We got to move the basketball, and you got to take advantage of your opportunities. If there's a
Yeah,
if
true.
there's a breakdown on defense, or if you're in a one-on-one situation, we want you to win the situation.
How do you apply that to the life to be learned in college? Saying that you have to pass the ball, you have to be patient, you have to be um, aggressive. You may have to sit back and wait a minute. In today's life, even though like I said, you've been there for 11 years, and some people wait 2 years and they say, "Man, I don't see no results," and they move
Yeah,
along.
yeah. Well, today's kids, man, it's so different with this internet, with the way of life. It's like instant gratification. When they want something, they want it right now.
Exactly.
You think about just think about this. Let's use the analogy of a barbecue. You know, Sometimes, man, do you want your ribs? You want them smoked slow, or you want them, you know what I mean, or do you want to come in and grab something to eat and keep moving? And I feel like nowadays, a lot of our youth, man, they just want things instant. If it's not happening right then and there, they want to jump to the next thing. They think the grass is green on the other side. But at the end of the day, if you say you want to be a college athlete, a student athlete, you can't duck hard work. If you want to be successful, I may make you, run a lot for you may think you're running because I don't like you, but no, you're running because this is going to fit you need to be in shape to be successful in the system that we trying to run. You can't walk the ball up the court and walk on defense or sit in the zone with the style of play that we're playing. So you got to be able to run. If you don't like running, this
Yeah,
ain't gonna be,
yeah,
it's not gonna be a good fit for you. So now, go back to your question. We have a lot of student athletes that want to come in right away and feel like they're going to be successful. They're going to be all conference. They're going to be all American without putting in the work, without going through the process. And I think you see that on all levels. Division 1, Division 2. You know, there's some that still got that great work ethic, and I believe that it sets them apart. And then there's some who don't. They just don't have it.
yeah, man. I'm talking about work, man. I remember in our track practice, our coach was always, "You want to finish strong. You want to
Yep,
finish strong. When you get to the finish line, finish strong. Don't stop. Finish strong. Because once you slow up at that finish line,
it can cost you.
it will cost you."
Yep,
And so many people in today's society follow social media and, like you said, want things instantly, and they'll stop and not move forward.
sir.
And to take that in an other perspective way in where you're at and using that as a life tool and using it as a game tool as well. What other tools have you used to enhance students to let them know, hey, it's going to be hard work along the road of your life?
Yeah, and one thing that I've been working, my bachelor's is in psychology, and it's crazy because sports always been a part of my life, been playing since a kid, but I've always wanted to know, how people think. What is why do people think this, or why does this happen? Why does that happen?
Right.
And one of the things that I want to put into them is discipline, self-motivation. Those are the things that you can't coach. So you can coach discipline, but somebody that's being that really wants it, they got that dog in them that has those things. Those are things that you can try to develop, but the person has to want that, for it to come through. So one of the things that I really, take time with and talking with our players about is the mind. Physically you can be big as you want, tall as you want, fast as you want, but if you can't think the game and understand how to work with others and bring the best out of yourself, then it's a struggle. You see it all the time. The most athletic teams don't win the championship. Sometimes the most skilled teams don't win the championship. It's those that have that motivation, that dedication, the mental toughness, the
So
heart to
you
go
saying
out there.
so you saying the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers don't have it to win it?
Well, in so many ways, they do. But I'll say this: LeBron, man, he's been my favorite player for years.
That's why I said it.
Yep. But you've seen many times to where I feel like he broke down mentally. I've seen games to where he didn't. You go back to that. Was it 2012 against
Okay.
Dallas? Whatever was in his head was in his head. He wouldn't shoot the ball. He just wasn't himself. Nobody could understand what was going on because if you look at him, his body size, his athleticism, for some reason none of that was there because his mind wasn't in it.
How do
And
you restore that mind though, man? I know you said it before. It's about a mind thing, and
yep,
you're just saying it again about LeBron.
yep,
His mind is gone. How can you prepare that in a situation like this, no matter
hmm
about life, when you have sit at a job or sit in life, say, man, here's what I'm getting at. Preachers always come out and say, man, this is your year. This
hmm
is your year. This is your season. This is your season. And we always sit back and say, we received that. We received that. That next year, we still in that same boat.
same
We
boat.
still
Yes,
in that
sir.
same boat. And we not even, you haven't progress to move forward.
Yep.
That mindset, you just clapped on it.
hmm
How do we move from there to overcoming to where we need to get to,
Yeah,
which can make it our season?
man. And like you said, that I think that's one of the most difficult things in sports is how do you fix that? So there's one thing that I do with my students, and I learned this. Was like I said, I was the educational outreach coordinator as well.
Okay.
I would always say, I ask our players, we talk, we tell them, I always tell them, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm not honest with you, I'm doing you a disservice. So I give them, for one, I give them a voice, a respectful voice. If there's something that's pertaining to you as an individual that you're not comfortable with, I give you a chance. You can come into my office, we can sit down, we can talk, and get an understanding. So one, I'll try to give them a voice. Second, some positive reinforcement. I'll try to be positive and find the, like I said, while I'm telling them the truth, I find the good things that they do and try to, encourage them in those areas. But it's one tool that I always use with our students on campus when I bring them in, or when I was helping them to find the colleges and different things that they were looking for. I would ask them these three questions: outside of basketball or outside of the sport that you play, what are three cities that you would love to live in? Then I'll ask them, what are your main three hobbies that you love doing? And the last question is, how can you monetize the hobbies that you love? So for one, when you're looking at the school that you want to go to,
Right.
is it somewhere you're comfortable with outside of basketball? If basketball or football or whatever it is that you participate in is not working for you, are you happy in the place that you're in? Secondly, do they have the things that you're interested in outside of basketball, football, whatever you play as a major?
Gotcha.
And the third thing is, if you go to that area and they have your major, how could you be successful? What job opportunities are out there for you within that major, within that field? So if you're into gaming or whatever, computer software, whatever it may be, what is the industry out there? How can you monetize that if you go to school for that? And the reason why I said that is because if you go to a place, let's say you go to Manhattan, Kansas, you go to Kansas State. Yes, they're a D1 program.
Okay.
They have nice facilities, different things like that, but it's Manhattan, Kansas. You're in the middle of nowhere. You're from Houston, Texas. You're from Los Angeles, California, and things are not going right on the court. It's so easy for you to break down mentally and get up and leave that place because you have nothing outside of the sport that you're playing. So, what is your outlet? What is your release from the sport? Because, you can hit a wall, man. It's a grind, it's tough. So,
Yeah.
what do you have there? Do you like the city that you're in? What are some of the different things you can do off campus to take your mind away and decompress from the pressures of the sports every day? And maybe that will also help you to be more mentally sound and get and push through the 4 years that you're gonna do there, or 3 years, whatever it may be.
Yeah, man. Because I always look at people, especially on New Year's Eve or just around the holidays. Look at church, and the pastors always say, "Man, this is your year. This year."
Mm-hmm.
And people just sit there and they come back the next year, and I see the same
And
people
say
with
the
their
same
hands
thing,
up
sir.
and say, "Oh, I received that." I'm like, "How you gonna receive something? You just received something last year. You ain't,
Yeah, the same thing. Yes, sir.
you still
Yes,
sitting
sir.
on you
You
know."
got to be chipping away, man. Progress. You got to be chipping away at something. And you know, one of the things that we do is vision boards. Like I said, every 5 years I try to set new goals. Although I've been, like I said, at Arkansas Baptist College for 11 years, what I did was I tapped into the community. I tapped into the community. We started me and my wife, we started a program called Rockwell programs, and that's building our youth on the rock solid foundation in the walls of their community. So we've been working with hundreds of kids throughout the community. We have a summer program. We have youth sport teams, to try to, build character. Um, we work with them athletically. We work with them in their education. My wife does a great job taking care of our education portion of it. So we've been working together and doing things in the community, uh, to plant seeds and do different things and
Say your
doing
wife name,
those.
Christy.
Yeah, and doing those things, man, it has brought so many different opportunities our way. Building good relationships. So
What can you give other coaches who may be watching or listening, say, that have a difficult time coaching, knowing that everybody have a different attitude, have a different way of uh taking, taking the game in and looking at the game.
I would say stick to your guns, man. Stand on what you stand on, because it's difficult. I mean, it's not difficult. It's easy to follow trends. You may see a coach doing something in another program that's working for them, but at the same time, they may have more support from the administration. They may have more resources than what you have. Find your niche of where you are, your program, and stick to it, because it's not, success don't come easy and it don't come overnight. You got to put in the work. Hard work is definitely going to pay off. So
Yeah.
if you stick to your guns, and you put your all into what you believe in, I think you'll have more success than jumping around trying different things every other year or every other few months. Just stick to what you have, and if it work, if it doesn't work out, in your heart that you put your all into it, and it maybe the situation just don't work.
Man, for 11 years, and finally he's the head coach at Arkansas Baptist in Arkansas. You can follow Marlow on Facebook. There he is right there. Marlow Rockwell. Get get him. Get him. Follow him on Facebook. Marlow, before we go, man, I always ask this question. And no matter what situation you are in, no matter your church, Christian, everybody have that bullshit. And that's that bullshit. You know how someone come up to you. I give you a prime example. Someone come up to you, tell you a story, then when they walk away or you walk away, you look at your friends like, man, that was some bullshit. And the Isley brothers said it best. They have a song called "Fight the Powers," and
Mhm.
in the song it's all this bullshit going down. So give it to me. What kind of bullshit is in your world that you can say, man, you know what? That's that bullshit.
Oh man.
I mean, all the Christians have it. Christians have it. Pastors have it. I mean, everybody have it. So ain't no fighting this one. Give it
I,
to me, man.
hey, NFL referees, man, we should be in the Super Bowl. No, but hey, man, they had about two or three delay of game calls, man. They ain't give it to us, man. That's that beat. No,
Oh man.
no, but man, the BS is that a lot of people are going to, it's easy to speak on other people's situations until you in it yourself,
Mm,
and I'm going to say this from being a head coach. You hear these kids, you hear these parents, you hear these people that's referring these players. They're going to tell you that, man, this is the best kid I ever coached. This kid is coachable. Uh, they going to come in, they going to work hard, they going to do this and that. And that kid gets there, they're the total opposite. And my thing is, if we, like I said, my coaching philosophy is to be transparent, to be 100% honest,
right.
and if even if a player is lacking in certain areas, if you honest with them and they can find out what that issue is that they have, you can better get them out of that, or better coach them to make them, reach the success that they want to reach. So man, a lot of the BS that I get is like, this player is gonna come work hard for you. Uh, Exceptional student, this and that, and they get on campus, man. They don't go to class. They cuss you out. They they do the
Wow.
total opposite of what that people that the people that called and referred them, you know,
Right.
is stating. So my thing is, me and my coaching staff, we've met, and we told them we got to adjust our ears and eyes, and understand that this is our goal, this is our plan. We got to stick to it. I know it's tough to tell somebody they can't come or they can't be a part of your program, but you got to make sure that you're doing right by people, and you want to get all the BS out of there. So my biggest BS is all this false stuff about you know this person can do this and do that, and they're far from it. Not to say that they can't get there, but those people know.
That's some real shit, man.
Yeah.
That's some real shit. Man, Marlow, Coach Marlow Rockwell from Arkansas Baptist Church, man. I preach Baptist Church. You preaching though. Appreciate you, man, for coming on, man. Arkansas Baptist University out there, HBCU in Arkansas. You can get in touch with Marlow if you're trying to go there or know someone want to go. He's on Facebook. right there, Marlow Rockwell. And as I say at the end of the show all the time, man, and if you ever feel yourself at the end of a rope tied knot and hold on tight, and remember the bottom line, ain't nobody bad like you. Until next time, share and like this and send it on somewhere. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
See
Appreciate you,
you
man.
soon, man.
All right, man. You have a good one, man. Appreciate it.